I didn't start writing until the summer I was turning 60. My husband and I have friends that we made when our kids were little, like they were in hockey, and they were all like other hockey parents. And they were just really great and supportive, and we had a lot of fun with them, and a lot of hockey tournaments and stuff. And the boys are all older now. Like they're all between us, I have 9 boys and 1 girl. And so, and the boys are all now like approaching 30, and some of them see each other a lot, but as parents we still get together. um and they're like our best friends. It's kind of like when you go through that kind of stuff with your kids, and you learn things like never say my kid wouldn't do that, because chances are he probably will, and somebody's going to call you and tell you. So when you share those kind of experiences, it really is bonding. So, and I really enjoyed them. Like we've just always had a lot of fun. And we don't see each other necessarily every day, but whenever we get together, we pick up. So I kind of had that kind of core group in my mind. And they were all over for dinner one night, actually. And I was looking around the table and I remembered how it was. My parents had great friends too. And I remembered when they started to die, when they started to pass away, and how sad it was. And as I sat at the table and I was looking at everybody, I thought, like, this is just really great that we have this, but it could be over soon. And I thought, I wonder which of us will die first. And that's essentially the first line in the book. It's funny because the ways that they made money is ripped from the headlines, but the way they lost their money was just how it had to work in the plot. And I toyed with getting into it more, like giving whole scenarios, and then I thought, doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that they have to rebound from it. So I left that out because I did have like I'd had potential scenes I could make about getting them for the first encounter with the shady businessman who wanted them to invest, and then how it could escalate. And then I thought, no, I'm just gonna like leave that to anybody's imagination, and just like I could sum it up in a couple lines, and that's what I did. All of them, as the 4 couples, they still get together, but they're just going through the motions because the husbands have torpedoed their savings. So they're all resigned now that they have to work till they die. Like the one character, Pam, she works as a secretary, and knowing she's going to be working into her 70s and 80s, she kind of spearheaded an inclusivity project in the office that had a ramp so she figured if she ever had a walker, she could still get to her desk. So they're just not happy with their lives. So they're going through the motions and they're just resigned to it. And then they get a glimpse of that things could change. And that's when the one husband, like, he asked the question, who's going to die first? Well, pretty early in the book, you find out. And he's died as a result of an accident. And then the wives are shocked at the funeral to see his wife is rebounding. Like she looks great. And when they finally have a chat with her, she says, yeah, you'd never guess this. I've got, like, Dave left me really well set. I've got a pension. I've got, we had mortgage insurance, we had credit card insurance, and I've got $1 million landing in my bank this week from the insurance policy. And the other wives are like, holy heck. It's like as the one line I think I have in it is that misery loves company. And now that this wife had that windfall of cash, they had one less companion in their misery. Because that was the one thing, right? They each had each other. And even in keeping up appearances, they weren't worried about keeping up appearances because they were all in that same leaky financial boat. But once they see that she's rebounded, they realize, and she lets them know that she found out that all their husbands have these insurance policies. Well, then the women realize that the husbands are now more valuable to them dead than alive. And so they start thinking maybe we should kill them. And then the husbands, meanwhile, that's the kind of I don't want to give too much as a spoiler, but um, the wives have perceived them as just being duds and just being kind of living in this complacency, but they haven't been at all. The husbands have a whole other thing going on, and they're like almost like a step ahead of the wives, and now the wives are catching up on them.